Welcome to watch Full Firepower. In this episode, we will introduce you a kind of assault rifle which has both greatness and weakness. And this rifle is M4A1. First, we'll take an overview on some common guns and rules of survival. First, let's look at some pistols. They're just for transitions, just better than bare hands, so we will not take our time on them. Second are submarine guns. They're quick attack weapons which have high speed, mediocre capacity, and low recoil. What's more, their firing range is okay with a high reload speed. Next are short guns. They're also called scatter guns. They're extremely dangerous in a short distance. Though their shooting ranges are large, their fire ranges are short, and their reload speed is relatively slow with strong recoil. So they're kind of weapons which you lose if you miss the shoot. Next are AWPs. Their damage are extremely high, their shooting ranges are extremely small, but their fire ranges are very long. So they belong to two-end weapons. If you're good at sniping, then they're a must to you. Last but not the least, we'll look at the focus of this episode: rifles. Generally speaking, the shooting speeds of rifles are less slow than submarine guns. Their capacity are mediocre, reload speed are relatively fast. However, their shooting ranges are just okay, and the damage are slightly higher than submarine guns, so the recoil is higher than latter ones. We can see that the balance of performance is what the rifle's looking for. And the M4A1, which we will introduce today, is a great example of this balance. Let's look at some official data of M4A1 first. Its damage is only lower than AK among rifles. The stability is just lower than AR-15. Its furthest effective firing range is 100 meters. The reload takes only 1.5 seconds, with its 30 bullets capacity makes it kinda edges over others in quick attack. According to other data of M4A1, we could see that the general performance of M4A1, though none of its data is the best among its peers, is still a great weapon in general. First, we should have an overview on its performance in the actual combat. The data on screen is what we get in combat of M4A1. One important feature of M4A1 is its stability without accessories and its powerful damage with accessories. When it has no accessory, its trajectory is relatively stable. It could shoot its target even in a fast and continuous shoot. So it is recommended that players can try to use 3 continuous shoot tricks when using M4A1. What you need to do is just click the shoot button 3 times. You can click the left button when in static mode, and when you shoot between moves. You need to swipe the screen when on-stop and click the button. So it's quite difficult to achieve because it needs practice a lot, and you can strafe when holding the shoot button in auto mode. It's easier to swipe the screen when holding shoot button, so it's recommended you to use swipe and more trick, thus you can adjust your aim point at any time. That's the reason which M4A1 is more suitable for beginners, because of its stability and trajectory. If you shoot in static position, the trajectory will move up like I-shape, so press it down properly where your aim point at enemy's waist when shooting, so it's easier to shoot or even headshot. When squat and shoot, most guns have a higher stability, but the vision range will go down as well. And when you use M4A1 in squat mode, its shooting range just the exactly same with vision range. So it's very useful to shoot with M4A1 when squatting. Keep in mind, the recoil will be reduced when shooting in squat, so its trajectory will be more intensive, and it's better to aim enemy's chest when shooting in squatting mode. Thus it has more chance to get a headshot when in prone, if enemy is prone as well. Due to trajectory, it's better to shoot with continuous single-click trick to ensure stability, or you can aim at lower side of enemy and kill them in advantage of eye trajectory shape. but this way will consume too many bullets and will be affected by other factors. It's not a good way to kill people if the enemy is in stand or squad mode. You can make use of trajectory of M4A1, then the SWAT mode can be considered to kill enemy. Of course, the features above are not enough to make M4A1 for beginners. The most powerful of M4A1 is its performance after get accessories, and you can equip no more than 5 accessories at one time. Among the accessories, the bus stock is pretty rare, and others are not difficult to find, and you will have many options as well. First, we talk about magazine accessories. The expansion grip is recommended. The general speed of M4A1 is great, so we don't need to improve the reload time, but we can give it 10 bullet more magazine, so it will be greater and practical and cost efficient. If you encounter this magazine with both speed and expansion, take no time to equip it. As for foregrip, we find that no matter triangle foregrip or regular one, they don't enhance M4A1 stability too much after equipped. That's because M4A1 itself has a good stability. However, if you equip a sighting device, then triangle foregrip is your preference, for it can reduce the time of telescopic sight. As for muzzle accessories, we have multiple options. If you want to be a scheming guy, then the silencer is your priority, since it can not only lower the sound greatly when firing, but could slightly control the bullet trajectory. If you are a guy like fire face-to-face, then a compensator is recommended for you, because it can greatly reduce recoil of guns and make them more stable. As for flash hider, it's kinda useless at current patch. You can choose it if nothing else available. As for telescopic sight, it's recommended to equip M4A1 with holographic sight or 2x teleconverter, so they will fit the shooting range and damage range of M4A1. The 4x teleconverter could get some surprise for you sometimes. However, it's not very practical in general, so it's not a must to our equipment. As for AX teleconverter, well, what should I say? It makes no sense at all. Sometimes it even backfires you. So, in conclusion, we recommend you 2 options of accessories for M4A1. But the only difference is the choice of muzzle. Finally, what we must know is the difficulty to get it. After all, we're in a survival game instead of pure FPS game, so the access to weapons is very important at the beginning of the game. M4A1 can be classified into regular weapons according to our test. You'll get it relatively easily as long as your luck doesn't abandon you. Basically, it has a big change to find in almost every big house each town. Generally speaking, M4A1 has a high priority. The following are its score at different fields. Star of Performance, 3.5. Star of Difficult to Use, 3. Star of Accessibility, 3. Star after all accessories equipped, 4. Star of Accessibility of Accessories, 3. Star of Utility, 4. Star of General Evaluation, 4. We believe that after you master M4A1, it's easy for you to become a winner in the game. What's the important, as a king of balance, M4A1 itself can be considered as a standard of balance. By using M4A1, players could feel what they really like when select weapons which fit for them. After all, in some situations, balance means mediocre without features. But to those high-skilled players, the best weapons are those fit to them. So, though M4A1 could give extreme damage when used by high-skilled ones, we still call it a godlike weapon for beginners. That's all for this episode. Please leave your comments if you have any advice or suggestions. We'll show you how M7 performs next episode. See you next time!